All right, once again, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to start off by giving all praises and blessings to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rachaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect men pushing this word in all truth and in sincerity, risking life and livelihood in so doing, especially in these days and times in which the time is now the end. All right, we are in the end, my friend. All right, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this video. Okay, uh, playing off of the lyrics of this song. Okay, by a band called The Doors. All right. Now, I remember hearing this song, on certain movies. All right. And, never really paid attention to it until recently. All right. I decided to just actually today, the song was on my mind. All right. It was just, I woke up this morning, earlier than normally. And, this song was just there, the end. All right. And this has to be the end, man. This has to be it. I mean, of course we're waiting for, one or two major prophecies to still unfold. One of those prophecies being the mark of the beast being pushed throughout the world. And then finally will be those ICBMs, which will destroy America completely from sea to shining sea. All right. Right now, okay, I'm driving. All right. So I'm not going to be able to really go into a full lesson. I might just double back and do a part 2 to this video. But, pretty much the deliverance, how we will be delivered, and what deliverance looks like is actually written in the scriptures. All right. You have the Christian church and a lot of these religious schools of thought. All right. You have a lot of people who just, take it upon themselves to say what the actual end of the world and what salvation and deliverance looks like. Well, salvation and deliverance is written in the scriptures, all right? And, right now I'm not going to, of course, be able to get to those scriptures, but I could roughly paraphrase, the main two that I will probably be dealing with, and then I'll probably go through some other scriptures. But, in the scriptures, it tells you, one shall, roughly paraphrasing, one shall be on a roof, on a rooftop, okay? And it says, it says, two shall be in the field, all right? And, one will be taken, and, one will be left behind. And this is in Luke, all right? And again, I'm driving, so I won't be able to get to it. but it tells you, there would be, two women, roughly paraphrasing, there would be two women, grinding or working. Okay, one woman is going to be taken because, yes, all right, you're going to have women, all right, who are going to be delivered. Okay, now, and we teach that, you're going to have women who are delivered for the sake, sometimes even for the sake of their man, as the scriptures says, the unbelieving wife, okay, the unbelieving wife shall be saved due to the fact of her believing husband. Okay, now if if she's just a scoffer, okay, if she's just a scoffer, she still rolls, she still follows, but she's just like, I'm not with that Israelite thing, that woman will receive deliverance. All right, she will receive salvation. For the sake of that man that's a believer in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and that is going to be the case. Okay, and I like I said, I want to do a part 2. Of this video, and we're going to go into those scriptures. But and it says that deliverance, roughly paraphrasing the scriptures, that deliverance will come in the twinkling of an eye, okay, in a blink of a wink of an eye. If you look at it in the NLT, all right. So when those missiles, so after this devil, okay, after he pushes the world, because right now, okay, you still got Jake loaded up with dollies full of money, all right, full of cash. You had a lot of Jakes from the 80s, the 90s, who sold a lot of drugs, and they were able to stash away a lot of cash, and as we see, the price of silver is almost to Armageddon prices, man. Okay, silver is almost to $100. Let me see if I can get this. And I saw, I was at work today, and I saw the elder Malcolm of the Chicago GMS camp, and that was a blessing. And it's a blessing anytime I see any of the brothers, any of the Akim from the camp. All right, man, it's so beautiful, man. And he was saying, man, like, he was saying, pretty much, you can't even get, all right, an ounce of silver, man. Okay, you can't get an ounce of silver. So last week, okay, they were saying that they were trying to lowball on the silver, on the, if you tried to sell silver, they were trying to lowball, saying that, and they were saying the reason that they had to lowball was because the smelting factories, Salakia. The refining factories here in Babylon were not taking any silver because they were bagged up pretty much with melting the silver or whatever. But this guy, they opened up two melting factories. All right, two more processing factories to melt silver, because ultimately this silver is going to play a major role, or it has been found to play a major role in some type of technology. Okay, and so now silver, it may very well, depending on what that, and it looks like it's going to be a very key technology that the silver is being used for. So it looks like silver will even surpass gold. Okay, and it's already surpassing gold in the way that it's growing. Okay, so 1 second. All right, and so this brother, he knows he's an Israelite. Okay, but we often converse. And he's a they don't go out and on the highways and byways, or as far as I know, do videos. All right, and but he shares some good information, right? At the same time, all right, he shares some good information. So this letter that he said, that showing is pretty much saying that you can't get silver. You can't buy more than an ounce of silver. Okay, right now, I don't know if they're going to make you buy bigger bulks of silver only, but pretty much, you getting an ounce of silver is about to be over with. And I'm pretty sure they've taken those what silver dollars, half dollars or whatever. I'm pretty sure a lot of those older ones. They're probably about to take those off the shelf as well. And here's the price of which silver, and see that, and that's why you can't listen to these economists. All right, a lot of these economists, because just a couple of just last week, okay, when silver had reached to 80, you had a lot of individuals who were saying that that's the highest that it's going to go, and I knew that was BS, man. All right, I knew that was BS. So this brother was saying, man, I'm finna sell my silver, and I said, this brother must got a treasure chest, all right? Because so I told him, hey, I wouldn't sell my silver, man. I wouldn't sell it, But hey, if you're it don't make sense to sell your silver, and this place is over with, man. Okay, you don't know the type of what you're going to be faced with. Okay, and we're going to be faced. This is Jacob's trouble, man. All right, you're going to be faced and forced to make some some very bad, not bad decisions, but life saving uh, uh, decisions. Okay, I remember when I was in the streets. Okay, wild guy. All right, I remember the police chasing us, uh, and I jumped out of the car, you know, and ran, and hit a couple of gates real quick, man. That's when that's when my knees were. I was a big guy then, man, but I was very athletic. I could move, so I hit a couple of gates, and so quick. Okay, police couldn't keep up, but they were chasing me, and I had to make a decision. In order to escape, I had to cross a creek. Now, many of you people from the city, you don't know what a creek is, all right? And yeah, I was out in the suburbs. And so, Chicago, Illinois is full of creeks. And so I had to cross this creek. And I never, jumped in the creek before. And I remember, man, just the day before, man, I bought these Charles Barkleys, man. I bought these Charles Barkleys, Air Force Max, and man, those shoes were bad, man. Suede, purple, black, okay, and I had on these suede and denim uh, um, shorts. Okay, I mean, this day I was I was fresh, man, right? And yeah, so we running from the police, man. So I had to make a decision. Okay, either get caught by the police or enter into the creek. All right, I didn't know how deep the creek was or whatever, man. All right, but I entered into the creek, and sure enough, all right, uh, they came with the canines, and the canines couldn't find me, man. I was like in the water. Okay, and the water, it was just high enough to where I could breathe, and I could be up under a tree. Okay, and that's where I was at. And I waited there until the police had left. But hey, it was Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai's will that I go through that, make it out. Because the funny thing about it was I left my ID in the car. I don't know. I had my ID, and after that, I never had. That's it's not about me, but I left my ID in the car, and the suburb that I was in was the suburb that I lived in, and they got my address off of the ID. And this day was none of my friends were home. I went, knocked on the door of my friends. No one was home. Okay, and so in telling this story, this is the spirit. I'm just offering this story right now, and just thinking back on it. But that's how it's going to be in the end, man. Going back to that song, the end. We're in the end, and so you'll go to people's trying to get help, people's houses, homes trying to get help, and there's not going to be any help there for you. Okay, there's not going to be any help there for you. The doors, as the scripture says, the doors in the city are going to be shut, man. People are going to be afraid. Once this thing collapses, people are going to be afraid. All right, they're going to be trying to save themselves, save their own families, and it's just going to be you. Okay, you're not going to be able to lean on anybody. All right, you're going to see the worst of people, and $91.45, which I haven't even did a mathematical, but hey, this thing is going to go. Maybe within the next couple of days, you may see this silver at $120 per ounce. Okay, this is big. This is big. This is big. All right, very big. And if you see our conversations, we pretty much swap information. Yeah. So this is big. So this is the end, man. All right. Let me go to this song because I have to clock in. So this is the intro. It says, "This is the end, beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend, the end." All right. And this is it for Esau, man. Okay, Esau thinks he's about to come out on top, but he's not. 2/3 of you people, you're still trapped in your wickedness, man. You're still in your wickedness. And, you're thinking that, hey, it's not going to happen. Hey, these songs are written. These people are not making jovial songs. Man, this man made a song called "This Is the End." And this is a very popular band. Okay? Verse 1, "Of our elaborate plans, the end of everything that stands, the end." All right? And those are going to be those nukes, man. All right? Esau has a plan to, rob this world blind, and he's pushing forward with his enterprise. All right? Trying to chip the world, okay? Which if you take that chip, that mark of the beast, and it is the mark of the beast, you will be in the end, okay? No safety or surprise, the end, okay? I'll never look into your eyes again. Keep that in mind, some of you rebellious people, man. So I'm going to end it here. I got to go to work. Well, the plantation. So, whether you agree with it being a plantation, or work, a job, or being a plantation or not, it is. All right. That's how I view it. So anyway, till next time, shalom.